we discovered a massive need for women to find an identity surrounding being a woman and an entrepreneur. I'm Marley.
And I'm Rachel. Women like us, women who are the primary earners in our families,
are searching for identity, community, visibility, permission.
A place to be heard and supported.
We are leading with our vulnerability to allow others to feel safe.
We are strong
and feminine. We are bread-winning women.
Oh, it went early. Hey guys.
We're like doing the robot before it started. Okay,
counting down all crazy. So excited to be here today with this episode of Breadwinning Women TV. We are going to talk about something that has been a little bit controversial, and it is selfies, but not just selfies, because obviously selfies aren't just about pictures of yourself. There's so much more that goes into the decision of, should I put pictures of myself on social media? Should I doll up? Should I not? Should I be real? Should I be authentic? Is being pretty and dolled up, is that authentic or is it inauthentic? What is the balance with vanity and selfies and making sure that you feel ultimately like you're portraying your best self? But I think in order to really dive into this topic, Marley, you have one of my favorite stories when it comes to the psychology behind selfies. So can you share that story?
Well, it's not necessarily the psychology behind selfies, but like how that can be portrayed. And this was actually something that I just discovered recently. And so when we're talking about vanity and selfies, it's how people can judge, and people, just for the record, are going to judge no matter what. So do you want to be judged for doing something that you already love and that makes you feel good, or do you want to be judged for maybe not stepping into your power? And so this brought me back to the first time that I ever remember being bullied. And this was something that actually came up for me very recently. It was such a powerful moment for me to recognize, like, I'm 27 years old, and this was something that happened when I was probably 7, so 20 years ago, and that I didn't realize until just now. And it was remembering the first moment that I was ever bullied. This was, and I had a lot of stories about bullying in my childhood, and there was, mean girls in my class. And then even when I went into like junior high and high school, it seemed to shift. It was the same story, but different girls. And when you have a pattern in your life, it's kind of easy to see what part you play in that. And it could also be who you're being as a person, who you're attracting to you, or also the lessons that you need to learn to get to that next step in your life. Every step is just bringing you to the next one. So my story was that the first time in my life I ever remember being bullied was I was in grade 2. And before that, I was in a grade 1-2 split. So this was my first year with these new girls, and there were a lot more girls in my class. So I was excited that I had new girlfriends, and it was just going to be like so much more. I would make more friends. It'd be great. And there was this new boy in school, and all the girls liked him, and he liked me. And at this point in my life, I have a great family. My parents are very happily married. I have a younger brother who I've always had an amazing relationship with. And up until this point in my life, I always thought that when something good happened to you, you'd go home and be like, Mom, Dad, this happened. It's amazing. Or have friends that were supportive, and you're celebrated for that. And it was the first time in my life that it was like, hey, this boy likes me. It's really nice. It's amazing. And the response was, you're a loser. You're not worthy. You suck. Or like whatever the mean, nasty things that kids can say at that age. And it was the first time in my life that I felt like a good thing happened, but I was being punished for it. And I would try really hard to do other things to show my worthiness, because these girls were calling me a loser, because this boy liked me. As a result, they didn't. So I would try to do things to be good enough for them. And I was always like twisting and contorting myself to fit into what I thought would make me fit in, but really pushed me away further. So at a young age, I came up with this idea from what I had learned from this experience, that to fit in, I needed to make myself look less. I needed to play small so that the girls would like me. So I couldn't be too smart. I couldn't say big words. I couldn't get good grades, because then it would look like I was showing off. Or I couldn't be too happy or excited about something, because then it would be, what are you like? Why are you so excited? It would hurt me either way. It would hurt to be excited and then feel like, oh, I have to not express this because these girls are going to judge me. And it would hurt to also know that both ways. It was just, I can't even put into words that it was painful both ways. And so I remembered that recently, and even growing up and being into junior high and high school was very similar things. High school, my grade 12 year, I started to get scholarships. I got accepted into university, and my friends at the time didn't. And that's when the relationships changed. And it was another lesson of like, oh, I can't truly be myself and have people love me and support me for it. And so that was something and I realized into my 20s how those lessons continued with me and became part of my pattern and part of my behaviors, that something good could happen and then I would feel I can't celebrate this or I can't express this because then other people won't like me for it. So I played small for a while, and it took me a long time to also realize and acknowledge that and heal from it, that when something good would happen or that I would have an opportunity, that inside you think I should go for it, but then there's that fear of what will other people think. It made me realize that for how long I had let other people control my success and my happiness because I worried about what they thought, yet I was the one who was being miserable about it.
That's a really crazy topic. You know what I mean? And I do feel like it plays directly into selfies and getting ready for the day and vanity versus feeling your best. And I'll share my experience that's kind of similar. So naturally, I am a little bit more of a scrubby person. I like wearing pajamas and activewear. And heyo, for the first time in my life, I'm actually really going to the gym. So my activewear isn't just inactive wear. But I like to be very comfortable, and I'm not someone that usually gets dressed up every single day or does my makeup every day. And after I had Dominic, there was this really weird internal battle. And I think for me, it stems from similar experiences as what you went through, Marley. And I'm sure anyone listening to this has experienced, where other people make you feel like you can't live and demonstrate your best version of yourself. Other people's pressure or their opinions or their judgment keeps us from putting that selfie up when we look our best or feel our best. And I will say there's been an interesting journey. Anyone who's had a kid knows that after you have a kid, every single time, it's like you hit this big, massive reset button. And suddenly you're like, wait, who am I? Do I do my makeup? Do I wear clothes? No, what kind of clothes do I wear? Like, how do I present myself? Who am I is the big question that comes up. And so for me, this latest journey has been kind of discovering, who am I? Am I a scrub, or is that something I decided out of convenience or laziness from working at home? Am I someone who likes to do my makeup and do my hair and feel like I look awesome and amazing and walking in that confidence? And I still remember the very first time. It was actually, this is crazy. I haven't shared this story before. I was 16 years old, and I had a male educator who said to me, if I were you, I wouldn't wear makeup and I would get glasses. Otherwise, other girls are going to hate you. And I just remember that sat so weird with me, but there was that voice kind of ingrained in my mind as I got ready. And I would be like, I don't want to doll up because I don't want other people to judge me or hate me. And it's so weird because the reality is, I know that when I take the time to at least present myself in a way that is in alignment with how my insides feel, like my insides feel like this rock star, like I'm the champion, Carrie Underwood, I want to be on stage. But then I'm wearing scrubs. It's like there's this constant battle between my insides and what they believe I am and how I'm presenting myself. Now, granted, it's one thing like when I'm about to go to the gym after this, so it's like, it's gym time, baby. But, you know, I want to feel and look my best. That doesn't mean I have to be 100% dolled up every day, but I've had to fight that internal battle of, is it okay to wear full makeup? Is it okay to do my hair and doll up? I think it's a really interesting conversation.
Mm-hmm. And even how we as women, and not even just women, all people, I think men do this as well, that you take a picture and you also judge of like, well, is this good enough? Or what will people think? Or, oh, maybe I'll take it again and I'll like remove this out of the background so people don't think this. Like how much do we contort and twist ourselves because we're worried about what how that's going to make people look, or what people are going to think about how we look. And when you said that other girls are gonna hate you for how you look, that you should put on those glasses, the first thing that came to me, and I started kind of smirking, that I was like, oh gosh, I don't want to laugh out loud, but in the wise words of Kanye West, if they hate, then let them hate and watch the money pile up.
I love it. Now, I have a client who she's built a massive business. It's very successful. She loves selfies, absolutely loves them. And I'll be honest, I love selfies when my hair and makeup are done. I'm like, oh my gosh, I look so good, you know? And then when I'm having a day where I maybe don't feel the best, I pull that picture up and I'm like, this is the one I'm posting today. You know, there's something really interesting about selfies that is kind of, I think, empowering in a way, because it reminds you I can look and feel my best. Even if I don't feel that way today, this was how I felt in that moment in time. It's possible. It's something that I don't always maintain, but it kind of documents like a good moment in life.
Mm-hmm.
And my client, she experienced a lot of hate about her posting so many selfies. People were like, you must be really self-absorbed, which I think is an interesting reflection, when it doesn't have to necessarily do with how obsessed you are with yourself.
Mm-hmm. What if it's about self-love? And from the person who's saying that, why is that triggering them? And that's a good thing to ask yourself. When you get a negative comment, whether it's online, whether it's from someone that you know who's trying to jokingly say something, but it actually puts you down, what is it about that comment that's triggering you? And what is it about whatever you have done, whether it's a selfie or whatever, that's triggering them?
Absolutely. So one of the things I've been kind of looking into is figuring out what is the balance between dolling up and being myself. And if you're watching this live with us on Breadwinning Women TV, comment below if you've experienced that should I not dress up as nice because it looks like I'm showing off? Should I look a little more like natural and normal so that I'm accepted by society? If you've experienced that before, drop a comment so we know that that's something you've experienced. And for me, as I'm going through this process of reinventing my physical appearance along with my just day to day after baby number 3, I realized that as I was taking the time to do my hair and my makeup every day, subconsciously there was a little bit of shame there, like what are you trying to prove? You know, people are going to judge you for trying to be all dolled up. And it was a really interesting realization that those thoughts were even going through my head. So as I've been getting ready each day, I'm like, I am not going to apologize for taking the time to look and feel my best, like the best representation of myself. If I'm going to go to the gym, I want to be in cute activewear versus floppy t-shirts. I've got my share of floppy t-shirts that are very not flattering, but there's nothing wrong with wanting to look and feel your best because it's a representation of who you are.
Mm-hmm. And what if it's just about ourselves? It's about making ourselves feel good. When I put on clothes and my makeup, I'm not doing it so that I hope that my husband thinks I'm cute, although that's a nice side effect, but I'm doing it for me. So when I don't want to put on hair and makeup and get dressed for that day, it's because I need to just, maybe that's a veg day. Maybe that's a day where I just need to self-care, turn off for me. But there's also those days where I want to put some extra effort into my appearance because that's what's going to lift me up. That's what's going to fuel me so that I feel good. And it's also a form of self-care for myself, that self-care and self-love, that I get to spend that intentional time with myself, because sometimes we're so busy in a day that maybe taking that extra 10 minutes to curl my hair or whatever that might be is time where I am being intentional and visiting with myself, where I can be so cluttered with everything else.
Absolutely. And the thing I want to challenge everybody to recognize is when you take a little bit of time for yourself, it's not selfish, it's self-love. It's self-care. Like the things that you do to feel your best, those are things that you're doing in order to be able to go out in the world and feel great and to have the confidence behind you. Now, I want to be clear real fast. This isn't us saying like you have to get Botox, you have to get plastic surgery, you have to get extensions, like all of those things, unless those things make you feel amazing. That is huge. And so it's not about perfection. It's rather about being a polished version of yourself. And it's not something you always have to do. But I want to challenge everyone watching. Take some time over the next week and spend a couple of the days intentionally putting love into your routine, not extra makeup that's not what I'm saying. Put a little extra love into your routine of getting ready during the day, just intention and care. So like I remember someone said, when you touch, I'm gonna be careful to not say this wrong. I don't want to say when you touch yourself, when you touch your face, touch it like it's someone you care about. So as you apply your moisturizer, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I get ready very fast and I'm like, moisturizer, you know, like finger brushed. If you take just a second, a couple extra minutes, and you apply your moisturizer like you love yourself, you brush your hair like you love yourself, you put on your clothes like you are a CEO, you are a boss. There's something about that intention on the front end, even if it's only just a couple of minutes and a little extra care, that makes a huge difference. Try doing that for a couple of the days this week, and then contrast to how it feels when you get ready with your normal routine. So like I'm saying, you don't have to put more, you don't have to look perfect. You don't have to wear foundation all of a sudden, but just take a little more intention and put yourself first.
And decide what's for you and what might be for other people, and also decide if you are taking those actions or steps or doing things for other people. Because there's a lot of people that often will say, I don't buy organic fruits and vegetables because that's more expensive. But yet I'll go out and buy a really expensive pair of jeans, or I'll go out and get my nails done or my eyelashes done. And yes, those things might be for you, but also what's fueling you? Like if you spend the extra few dollars on getting that organic fruit that will make you healthier, that maybe doesn't have the chemicals or pesticides or whatever that you should maybe be avoiding in your diet, and deciding what is an investment I want to make in myself, whether it's investment of time or money, versus what am I doing because I want to appear a certain way.
I love that. One of the things I think that you hit the nail on the head with is the idea that we all have certain things that are our self-love and self-care that we can't apologize for. We have to be ourselves and make that decision and go for it. One of the things I want everyone to recognize, you're either in one of two parties, most likely. You're either in the selfie party or in the I hate selfie party. That's probably true. Everyone can identify. You either know if you love selfies or if you absolutely hate them. And if you're in the I hate selfies party and you look at other people when they post their selfies and you get mad, or you experience feelings where you're like, oh, this person's so into themselves. What I challenge you to do this week is instead to say, what is it that's bothering me? Is it because I don't feel confident putting selfies online? Is it because I was told a lie, like by your bullies in high school, Marley, or by the teacher that I had years ago? Was I told a lie that if I care about the way that I look, if I present the way that I look to the world, I'll be judged? I challenge you to look at those things and recognize where those behaviors and those thoughts in your head are coming from. Because the reality is, selfies are neither good nor evil. They're neither thing. It's just a picture. But the reality is, what your behavior, what your intention is when you create a selfie can either feed into a positive or a negative cycle. When you view other people's selfies, it can either feed into your own positive or negative cycles in your head. And you can decide ultimately whether it's something that empowers you and is a catalyst for change and loving yourself and feeling like the best version of yourself, or if it's something that spins you into a cycle of comparison. So it's kind of up to you.
Yeah, amen. And just understand that people are going to judge no matter what. So I hope that you can be okay with doing something for yourself regardless of that.
I love this. I love this. This makes me feel like I'm serious. It's been an interesting process, giving myself permission. When I say serious, Siri's always like, what? How can I help you? But it's been an amazing journey rediscovering what taking care of myself looks like. And I know some people watching have probably been through cycles in their life where you're like, wow, I wish that I would take care of myself again and feel good and feel, confident enough to put a selfie online and feel good about it. It's been a journey for me. And I know every time that you and I have chatted this week, when my hair and makeup have been done, I've been beaming,
Yes.
I feel so good. And it's not about putting this perfect appearance out there. It's a polished version of yourself. That doesn't mean makeup. That doesn't mean curling your hair. It means whatever it is that makes you feel like the best version of yourself physically is absolutely worth the investment of time.
Amen.
I love it. Can we get 17,000 amens, please? I love it. So, Marley, I'm excited about next week's topic. Should we tease it? Or should we let people guess what it's going to be? And
oh my gosh, guess what it's going to be. Because for one, I would love to see if anyone can guess, but it also is going to give us some ideas for what you guys want to hear.
For the following weeks. It's going to be awesome. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode of Breadwinning Women TV. And if you're listening to it on the podcast, on the Breadwinning Women podcast. We'll see you guys later. Bye.